Do you ever wonder why you're doing what you do in life? Do you wish that you could be really happy and passionate about what you do? Or maybe you already are and you want to expand in a different direction. Hi, I'm Barbara Ann, host of What the Why? I love what I do. A lot of that has to do with my story, my journey to this point in life. And guess what? Everybody has a story. So please join me for conversations with leaders from all walks of life about what they do, and more importantly, why they do it, how they found their core purpose, their passion, their mission in life. And if you're looking for your own, maybe you'll get some great suggestions on how you too can find your why. Welcome back to another episode of What the Why, now available on all major platforms internationally. But if you haven't seen us before, our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured out that this is their purpose. Maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired in your job or your career, your company, or maybe just your life. All of our guests have something in common with you. At some point, they felt similarly. They decided to do something about that, either voluntarily and sometimes not so voluntarily. And today's guest is similar. I'm super excited to introduce you to Will Wize Otero. I have to keep getting used to calling him Wize Otero. Growing up, Will dreamed of becoming a professional baseball player, and like many of our guests in the past, he's gone through some pivots. The game taught him the value of hard work, discipline, and showing up every single day. And these are lessons that he still carries with him to this day. His journey wasn't a straight line. The work ethic he developed, chasing the baseball dream, never left him. And over time, he found a new arena, media and entrepreneurship. He founded Real Wize Global to help coaches, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders build podcasts, publish books, and grow through life coaching. And every skill he built along the way became a tool he uses now to help tell their story. He founded and is the content creator of Real Wize Global, a media company dedicated to helping coaches, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders amplify their voices and expand their reach. And through podcast production, book publishing, and life coaching, all coaching is life coaching, Wize empowers purpose-driven professionals to share their message with the world. He's a lifelong advocate for hard work and consistency, values rooted in his childhood dream of playing baseball. Like I said, he always used it. He channels that same drive into everything he builds. With a growing community of over 10,000 followers across platforms, he continues to inspire others to show up, speak up, and level up. Super excited to have him here today. Been looking forward to this interview. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Will Wize Otero to the show. So round of applause. Yay!
Yay, yay. Thank you. But all right, so I want to start off. Thank you for having me on the show, right? And I want people to know that this isn't the first time we recorded this. We had to
It
record this
is
again.
not,
But I want
this
people
is,
to know, right, that it happens. Things happen, and here we are, take two, because we recorded a real dope episode,
we
and
did.
it's not it was, I guess it was just meant for me and her to have the conversation. But I'm here. We recorded another one, and I'm excited because it's gonna be even better. So let's do
Yeah.
it.
And I'm super excited too. And I'm glad you pointed it out because I would have. We strive for excellence, not perfection. Perfection is an illusion. And for whatever reason, this is the episode that's supposed to air and
Yep.
it's getting ready to air. It's going to air. And so let's get right to it because I read your bio and I read it a little bit differently than the first time because I really liked some other things that you had written in your write-up that were actually part of another section. And what you're doing now, there's a hint in there, but what you're doing now is not necessarily what you thought you'd be doing when you were little. So, what did little Will, now Will Wise, want to be when he was growing up?
Oh, no. I think like many little kid, but baseball. Like baseball, I've that's something that's just been in my blood like since a little kid, and it's something that helped me develop. a lot of the skills that I use today, right? Because I had to practice and make sure that I improved it at whatever I was doing. So it it's something that yes, baseball was a big part, but the woman that pushed me to play the sport is really the main force behind everything. Like she's the one who instilled the hard work and the dedication because of how she was dedicated to her family. So yeah, my mom played a big part. She encouraged me to play baseball, and she was someone who really said I can get anything accomplished. Like I was going to be her lawyer. That was her dream for me. But she always felt that whatever I set my mind to, that can accomplish.
So, how did you get from there to where you are now in terms of helping people with podcasting and publishing and coaching them along their journey?
Well, you got to go back to 2008. Um, my first wife passed away in a car accident, and then it was just like one tragedy after another. Because then the following year, I reunite with my dad after 28 years of not having him in my life, only to go visit him. Ironically, go visit him Father's Day weekend. I arrived Friday. He passes away Saturday,
Yeah.
and then it was just I reunited with one of my brothers from my father's side, and only to lose him a couple of years after my father to a drug overdose, and then I had another brother pass away, and then aunt and uncle that really played pivotal roles in my life. So it was a, quite a few years where I was angry, angry
Sure.
at life, angry at God, just angry and not caring about anything. And so it took years of me of being self-destructive. Let's be honest. That's me just not being in the right state of mind. And it took the voice in my head to come and tell me, like, this isn't your path. Like, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
For me to make that shift to seeking help, to go into therapy and speaking to people and being able to find love again and get remarried and so all that played a big part in helping mold me into who I'm becoming because I'm still growing and still experiencing life.
Mhm. And what's interesting about that is there are so many people out there who haven't tapped into that resilience. The fear of change is just too strong by comparison to the fear of staying the same. What helped you overcome that fear? I mean, because you could have stayed stuck, but you didn't. You did not stay stuck.
It had to do with my mom and even my first wife. Because she was the one who actually introduced me to the world of self development, and
Oh,
I didn't get I didn't get to share that part of it in our previous. So she was the one who introduced me to the world of self development. She brought me to the world of wanting to improve myself, getting into reading, and so that that experience kind of prepared me for what was to come. Because even though I was lost for those few years, I kind of reverted back to what I was learning from those books and about self development and about mind shift and really focusing on I could, I could from shifting from beating myself up and going through what I was going through and realizing that I had no control over that, right? So when you start realizing that you don't have control over that, that you can start healing. Like when you can start seeing that, yes, these deaths played a big part, and I could have easily like given up and used that as a crutch or an excuse to stay stuck. And for me, it was like, no, there's so many people that have invested in so much in me for me to give up. No, I have to pivot it and make this switch and get back to who I'm supposed to be.
Mhm. And one of the things we talked about earlier, you got to meet your dad, but it's almost as if he was hanging on until you got to meet him.
Yeah. Like we had spoken, like I had reconnected with him in May. So we had spoken over the phone a few and video, and this is like the beginning of Skype and stuff like that. So we got to see each other through video. But yeah, it was that night I arrived, the embrace and me being able to forgive him and share that moment with him and when you're able to release so much anger and hatred and just be like, you know what, I'm over it. It's time for me to just move on and start anew, right? Like this is an opportunity for us to start from scratch and not many people get that opportunity. But to be able to have that moment and forgive him and let him go at peace, it's something that still to this day sits with that like just is quite stuck in my head.
Yeah. It's one of the best gifts you could have given each other,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But that's still the beginning
Hmm.
of your journey to where
Yeah.
you are now. I mean, even though you're an adult, it's still the beginning because then the pandemic hits.
Yes. And this is the ultimate pivot, right? Because now I'm furloughed from work, don't have nothing to do. I'm home. I had purchased a podcasting equipment in 2019 because I was going to start a podcast with a friend, and life happens, so we didn't get to do it. And then 2020 hits. I'm home. I'm stuck at home doing nothing. The wife has a honey to do list, and so, but I was like, man, I have this equipment. I had been already messing around with it and pressing record and delete, and then so I finally just pressed record and uploaded it. Right, it was just that simple. It was just record and just release it. That was the catalyst. That was what really made me all right. I can do this. And so once that was done, it was just little by little. Literally, it was first episode was 7 episodes. The second episode was 10. I mean, seven. First episode was 7 minutes. Second episode was like 10 minutes. Third episode went to 20 minutes. So with increments, it just started going and up and until it got to where I felt comfortable doing a 35 to an hour. I think one of my first episodes, I had to cut it into a two-parter because me and the person recorded for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy. It was crazy. It was one of those moments. So it was like I said, I was furloughed. I didn't have much to do, so I was just recording.
Mhm.
But it was that was the beginning, and the first at first I was enjoying it, but I just wasn't enjoying the content I was putting out because it was geared towards all the negative stuff that was going on with the pandemic, the George Floyd situation,
Mhm.
the elections, and all the negative stuff that was being put out there. That when I decided to pivot to more of a interview and conversation podcast, that's when things really clicked and things really started shifting towards like, man, I love this. This feeling that I get from doing this is something that I've never felt before. Like I tell people at 44, I didn't know what my purpose was. And being able to launch the podcast and find that voice, and it was just like, man, I wish everyone could feel this way. I wish everyone could discover that you do have a voice and that you do have something that to offer and so it was just amazing to be able to find that role for myself.
Mhm. And you have that broadcaster's voice.
I try.
I mean, most people would be surprised to know that you're actually a native New Yorker.
Yes.
You don't have that New York twang that a lot of people have from that area. It
It
even
comes out
shows
once
up
in a
in my
while. It comes out in a while. When I say coffee and stuff like that.
Coffee, yes. From when I worked in Newark, I picked up certain words. My mother to this day is just horrified when I say, "You want to get a good cup of coffee?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my gosh, will you please not say that?"
There's certain
And
words. There's certain words that I'll say that you're like, oh, okay. There you
I know.
New York.
Yes,
But
I know. Two people of color who speak so well.
true.
Oh my gosh. So, but you don't just speak well because you went from podcasting to book publishing. Now, we know that your mother was one of your greatest inspirations. Um, and for clarification, you remarried and you have this amazingly supportive spouse.
Yes. Yes. She's awesome. Yeah, she saw that how dedicated I was to podcasting. Like she's seen the hours that I was putting into it. And she was like, she could easily been like, hey, my guy, you're 40 years old. What do you mean you want to start a podcast? Like, she could easily been that way. But she was like, um, I see that you're really into this. And from what I see, you're pretty good. And so what can we do to make this a business? So she
Mm.
helped me launch the media company, and she, she's my tax person. And so she's just been, she for her to see the potential, right? Even at the beginning, it was a blessing. Like you wish to have a spouse where they see the vision before you do. And for her, it was simple. She's like, man, here's something that you're good at. Let's maximize it. Let's do this. Let's so yeah, she gives me my space and she lets me record and it's awesome.
Which is that is awesome. And but now you decide, okay, because podcasting isn't enough for a multi-entrepreneur. You're going to go into publishing
Well,
and
that part of it is my nephew Anthony J. He he had been incarcerated, and while he was incarcerated, he wrote a couple of books. And so when he came out, he self-published one, and the second one I got involved in, and we hired an editor, and because the first one was just raw and misspellings everywhere, and so the second one we actually went and we invested in the book and hired an editor, and from there we he had already learned about ISBN, so he started teaching me about all that, and so I was like, man, all this money that we're spending on the editor and all that, like this stuff that we can do ourselves. So that's what we started doing, and uh, I've had the pleasure last year of helping this young lady um, realize a dream of hers, which was write a children's book, and which is called Charlie Has Curly Hair, and so
just I
yeah,
love that. I love that.
and so to be able to help her, because she started off it was funny because she was working at the shop. My wife's and her brother. My wife is just a serial entrepreneur, so her and her brother have this mechanic shop, and she was working the front desk, and she was talking to my wife about, oh yeah, I want to write a children's book, and my wife had already known that we was ready into publishing, and so she said, well, you need to speak to my husband. And so she sent me, well, she connected us, and she sent me what she had of her book. And I looked it over and went over it and actually added some more to it. And by the end of the day, we had the book like format, like in orders and formatted and ready to go.
Wow.
And so to be able to help her realize her dream, it just certified what I was trying to do, which was to serve others and help others share their story. And so yeah, it's been awesome, and it just um, even recently, I'm helping a few other people who are stuck on writing a book because they one of the things that I've learned is it's easy for you to get stuck on stuff, right? Because we sometimes overcomplicate things. We kind of get stuck in our own mind, stuck in our heads, and so I've been able to speak a few people and help them get unstuck and help them launch their books and even show them kind of the steps to self-publishing and doing it themselves. So it it started with my nephew, but it's become something where now we really trying to help people share their stories either through podcasting, through storytelling, book writing, and any other platform that we deem that we want to get into.
Wow. And which is the perfect segue into the coaching piece.
Yes, yes.
You decided, hey, if I'm going to be giving all this advice and helping people figure out what they're going to do, you put some of those
It's
techniques
it,
that your wife helped you discover to work.
yeah, it's funny because right, I had I've always had this feeling that I was meant to help and teach others, like because that's something that comes very naturally to me is teaching others and helping others. And so when one of the things when you get into coaching, there's so many different things you want to decide. Like yes, I got certified as a life coach, but I realized that coaching people to launch their podcast was something that was also needed. Right, that's the platform that was would have been helpful to someone like me in 2020 who had no experience, who didn't know what the difference, what was the RSS feed or what platforms to use to release your podcast. Like I didn't have a clue. Everything I've been able to build has been through YouTube University. Like,
And so
but it's
now
true.
you're
But it's
coaching
true.
others.
Yeah,
Yeah, which, hey, you got everybody learns somewhere.
yeah.
But not everyone can learn through YouTube University.
No, it's not.
Enter Wise.
Yeah, and so it was funny because a friend of mine that we host the show Cognitive Cuisine, and I had told her like my plans for launching a program to help people launch podcasts. And when I told her this, what my plan was and everything, and how I was going to just build it as I went along, she it was funny because I told her the price and the points and not telling her to sign up, but just telling her because it was just out of conversation. And I just see a Zelle pop up on my phone, and she had been my first client. She was my first client, and we worked and built the program. I'm still tweaking it and everything, but she in March she launched a podcast which is called I'll Start on Monday, and she's 10 episodes in now. So it's exciting to be able to have someone have so much faith in you and and believe in what you're doing that they jump in and help you build this program. They're willing to be the guinea pig to be to launch the program and so yeah, I decided that I wanted to help people avoid the hiccups that I went through. Like again, I didn't know anything about podcasting, so I help people strategize on a proper launch and showing them how to batch record and so many different things that I didn't know when I first started.
Yeah. And I know it's interesting because there's a lot of people who want to do what you do. But you found the resilience and the courage to do it. You touched on your mom and your wife and even your nephew. Um, but where did you find the courage, really find the courage to step out into something unknown and pursue it?
Um, just just life, right? It was just something that again from the reading and just getting back into the self development and real and the change in mind shift, right? Just going from oh woes is me or being angry or to just making that pivot to realizing like life happens
Yeah.
and you can either let life punch you in the gut and keep you down or you can pick yourself up and use that as fuel to take you to the next level and escape all the stuff that you're going through. Because again, I could have used it as a crutch. Could have easily been like, oh, well, look at all the loss that I've suffered and everything, and used it to really make an excuse for not succeeding or for not getting anything done. And I just didn't. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't use it as an excuse. I had to. I knew that I had to make that shift. I had to really change that thought process and really focus on like, hey, yes, you're down,
Mhm.
but you can get back up. The life is, if anything, if life is showing anything, that you can come back from devastating loss and so all the earlier training, all the earlier learning and stuff kind of started coming back and again got into reading again and meditating was something was that was lacking for me, was spending that time to I take meditation as a form of me kind of refocusing myself, like
Yeah.
take that moment to for that moment to just relax and find myself. So it was something
Mhm.
that I went back to and like one of the things I do in the morning is reflection. Like what am I like even at night, like before I go to sleep, is I reflect on my day, on what are the things that made the day a success or whatever it was that might have kind of steered it into a bad day or whatever it is. I kind of just take that moment to again just kind of just find myself again. Like it's just kind of just take that moment to, regardless of what you've been through, at the end of the day, just take that moment to soak it all in and just reflect and then just prepare yourself for the next day.
What you are describing and have hinted at throughout this interview is the essence of choosing the possibilities. There's so many different things that you touched on that other people would use as a reason to stay down, and instead you used as a reason to get up,
Hmm.
which is probably one of the reasons why people are drawn to you and do seek out wise coaching and advice, because you could have gone any way, but you didn't. You didn't. This poem, it's called The Road Not Taken, but everybody remembers the line about the road less traveled.
Yeah.
And you chose the road less traveled. Could have taken the road not taken. There's a lot of people who do,
Hmm.
and that's not what you opted to do, which takes tremendous faith and courage, in whatever you define that as. And so you're on this journey. Let's talk about, what's the name of your podcast?
Oh, Stuck in My Mind podcast. And it the name fits, right? Because all of us, we're at one point or another, we're stuck. Like our minds like lets us and 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 through all the learning and everything, I've learned that it's more of a defense mechanism, right? Like we kind of not we make sure we don't step out of the box or challenge
Mhm.
ourselves because we're afraid, right? Because we might be afraid that, oh, we're not good enough or whatever it is. But how do you know if you're good enough if you don't try, right? How would I know I would be good at this if I wouldn't have attempted it? Like me not attempting it is losing already. So for me, it was just like, let me just try it. If I suck, I suck. If I fail, if I don't get it done, at least I'm satisfied with the fact that I attempted it, right? If had I not done it, there would have been so much regret. Like, oh, what if I would have started the podcast? What would happen? What would
Mhm.
so I don't want to deal with what would happen. It's like I rather with, okay, what happened? What did I do? Okay, where was the lesson in this?
Yeah.
So
Which is fantastic because of what you're now doing as you
mhm.
live into your purpose and helping other people
Yeah.
move forward and live into theirs by finding their voice.
Oh, it's amazing, right? Because even if you would ask me a couple of few years, even 3 4 years ago, would I have published a book, a self-published my own book? I would have been like, no, I'm not a writer. But and the world is just amazing, right? It just yes, I've learned so much in these past 6 years, and I've taken a lot of lessons and applied it into my life. So it was something that when I decided to, yeah, I think I might want to write a book. I just pivoted into it. I just started using what I use best, right? Which was my spoken word. Like I might not be excellent with the written word, but the spoken word I'm pretty good at. And so that's how it started. It was just me just telling my story and dictating it and to where it's now been able to launch 3 or 4 books. So
Wow. So there are people listening right now that say, well, he could do it, but I don't know if I could do it.
you can.
You know, what advice or a lesson learned do you have to share with those people right now?
How do you know if you can do it if you don't attempt it?
Yeah.
I would have like and like I've done like it's crazy because every idea that I've had, right, I've thrown it off, I've bounced it off to my nephew, and he goes, "Okay, let's do it." So to have someone where I'm like, because even when I was like, "Hey, I want to launch the internet radio station," he was like, "Okay." And what do we do? We launched the internet radio station, and I didn't have a clue on what I needed to do or what, and so to be able to have someone where I go, "Hey, I want to do this," and here you'll be, okay, let's do it then. Like he doesn't he if I it's like whatever ideas I have, he's like, well, it wouldn't hurt us to try to do it, right? Because so one of the things we've pivoted to as well is he's gotten more into creating a clothing line, and so
Mm.
we've launched a clothing line as well, and but it's just a lot of the things that we've done now we're realizing that man we were ahead of our time. Like a lot of the stuff we were doing we was just all right, let's do this. Let's and and so because it was something that we just it felt natural to do. Like it's just these ideas that were coming up felt like something like that they were the next pivot or something or whatever it was. And so to be able to do all that and get everything to to just fit, right? Everything that we're doing fits together. And it wasn't on purpose. It was like we just decided to build these things and it just happened to turn into a media outlet. It just turned into a media empire. So it was just something like, all right, everything just kind of fits together. Like the publishing, the internet radio, the production company, the podcast, just everything just started fitting in.
All perfect examples when you live into the possibilities thinking.
Yeah.
So we're at time. We're over again, actually. And I have to say, for those who are watching and or are listening, well, the first interview was great. This one was powerful. And because we got to go some places that we didn't. So
Yeah.
everything happens for reasons. And like I said, we're about excellence, not perfection. And
And it
but I
happens.
think this was pretty darn close.
Oh,
So
listen, it happens. Things are meant to happen, right?
meant to happen.
So
Meant to
the
happen.
first one was just our way of getting to know each other and really so with the second one now, since you've heard the first one, now you can pivot and switch like, hey mate, this is an interesting topic. Let's discuss the so it worked out. it worked out.
It
So
worked out.
I'm glad we were able to get it done.
Me too. Thank you so much. Now, for those of you who want to know where you can connect with Wize, uh, all of his hashtags and sites and everything will be located in the information below where you're accessing this podcast. But for those who want to hear it verbally right now, what's the best way to reach you?
Oh man, you can well, to hear the podcast, you can find Stuck in My Mind podcast on all major platforms. I'm on Apple, Spotify, everywhere, and on YouTube as well. Stuck in My Mind podcast. To reach out to me, you can reach out to me at Wize at realwiseglobal.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Wize El Jefe, or on LinkedIn at Will Wise Otero.
Awesome. And thank you again. And we're going to wrap this up real quickly. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show and sharing your story and your journey and your excellence with our
And
audience.
the next step is to have you on my show.
Can't wait. And
It's
anybody who wants to have either of us, because, sometimes those of us who host shows, we're lucky enough to get Will on ours, but we also got to get out there because we're not here to tell our stories. We're here to feature everybody else's.
Yeah,
So
no, it's important. It's
feel free
important
to
for
reach out
podcasters.
to either of us.
It's important for podcasters to do other shows, right? Because
It is
you
because
have
that's
to,
how we spread our message.
yeah, because you have to reach another platform. You have to reach another group of people. So it's important for podcasters, if you really want to grow. Another tip: if you really want to grow your podcast, you have to be a guest on other podcasts. So,
Yeah,
so I will
awesome.
have Barbara on my show. We're gonna work on it. But I'm excited to have you on the show now.
I am excited to be there too. And I'm so thrilled that you were here today. Thank you so much. I really was looking forward to this interview from the first time we met, the second time we talked, and now the third. So, and future conversations to be had.
Absolutely.
And to our audience, thank you so much for joining us. You have so many viewing and listening choices these days. It's one of the fastest growing medium out there, and we do not take it lightly that you choose to spend your time with us. So please, if you're getting information that's really valuable to you, please take some time and like, follow, and share with others. Help us spread the word around the world now that we're available around the world. And always remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life, career, or company, no matter how big or small, tune in again for more illuminating, fascinating, and really important, really powerful conversations with guests such as Will Wise Otero, who navigated some really challenging pivots in his life to help others by finding his purpose and living it.